Uh, hey guys. Okay. Huh. Can you hear me? No, I think no audio for either of us. Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Hmm. Huh, no for you. They can hear me, I think. Yeah. Hmm.
For for now, we can start with this. I have my headphones on. I'm trying to figure out my mic. Till then, we can start with doing some stuff so people join and let's take through how the deadline stream will be tonight. So we'll be doing sort of a preview, review plus deadline stream for you guys. We have like a set 1 hour left, so we can't really extend it. But we will do this format is we'll quickly go through every fixture. We'll tell you what we have in store, like what we observed, what is essential, and we'll pick up your questions from the chat regarding that fixture. In that scenario, we covered your questions entirely and also everything related to that picture. So I think that sounds good. Yeah, just let me know if I'm audible or not. That's primarily mostly. I think if I am, then it's fine. Oh, I'm audible. The audio might not be as great as usual, but I think it should be fine. Overall, yeah. Let's move on to our pictures. Yeah. So Akhilesh, I think is anything about game week one about your team? Anything you want to mention or add
I ended
to
with
start with?
76 points. Not too bad. I think a decent start. But yeah, I think I'm hoping to pick it up from there this week and get a few more points. Yeah, I mean, pretty much the template. I think Joao Pedro did really well for me, and I was happy that he scored. And then, yeah, I think Chilwell obviously was came
Highlight,
out very
yeah.
good. It was nice starting Chilwell, and I really like having Chilwell in my team with the fixtures coming out in front. And we can discuss more about Chilwell as we go through the stream. I think he's pretty much an essential with so many defenders also not being becoming an option slowly. So yeah, we can discuss about him. And I think Estupinian also had a very good week, and he was pretty much template. So I'm not very like excited, but I think I'm happy holding Estupinian and happy having him in my team. Yeah, how did it go for you?
Yes. I think we'll continue with my AirPods for now, and my audio seems fine. So my game week went fine, decent. Personally, it was not the best game week. It was 82 points. Standard template team. I played Pedro or Watkins. Uh, Good punt. I think it worked out well for me overall. But yeah, so we'll have a lot to discuss. Please go picture by picture. I know a lot of you guys are interested in captaincy, and if you see my team, you will understand why captaincy will be an important discussion because I have something different in store as usual for captaincy. And that's gonna be the interesting part of this game week because yeah, I might just not go captain Salah and or Haaland, either or. So something
When
to
it
watch
comes
out
to
for.
this week, I think this is 1 week in the first 6 to 7 weeks where captaincy is even a conversation.
Yeah,
Because the other weeks, when you look at the fixtures, just
it's
eyes
just
closed,
too
Haaland is the captain. And
Haaland,
this
yeah.
is the 1 week where Salah has Bournemouth at home. Trent is probably an option too if Liverpool do look a little better defensively, which I'm not sure. But again, I think the United midfielders could also become an option because Spurs versus United is a much more open game. I'm sensing, and I think there could be a few goals that Spurs will concede in the process of being a very open attacking team. But I mean, if you have Salah, I think he probably is does become the captain. But we can discuss it in more detail
Let's just
through the stream.
since we are on the topic, let's just start with. Oh wait, just a second. Since
I'm
we
not
are on
able
the
to hear
topic,
you.
yeah, since we are on the topic of Salah,
Uh,
Might as well and captaincy. Let's just start with captaincy. I think I will bring up my teams, and we have like a couple of prime candidates. Obviously, if you have Salah, I think hands down, given the fact Salah is the best captaincy option. When you look at the fixtures, the three other games that appeal me, one is Fulham Brentford. Two is obviously Manchester City's Newcastle. It's not the most appealing, but it's there. I think uh, between Spurs United and Villa Everton, I'm a bit torn apart, but those are the other three, four fixtures I'm looking at captaincy.
hmm.
Uh, Personally, I don't have Salah. I know a lot of us don't have Salah because we didn't go that side. But I have Haaland, and he could be my option. And I was pretty much set on captaining Haaland until today morning, where I received the news that even Bernardo Silva is missing out of the squad. Grealish is fit, Foden is fit, Alvarez, Cole Palmer was right. So, and I rate Newcastle as a decent defense, despite with all that is happening. Tonali is good. I think they will set up well, and I'm looking at other alternatives. For now, my options are either to go to a Man United attacker versus Spurs, which will be a good fixture. Despite however bad Manchester United were, I think it's going to be an open game. I'm expecting at least 3+ goals in that fixture. The second is Watkins versus Everton, which I am currently, who is my captain at the moment in the game.
My captain's currently is still on Haaland. Yesterday, I was actually having a thought where Haaland played 90 minutes against Sevilla, right, in the UEFA Super Cup, and I was thinking whether what that could mean to him in this weekend because Pep was also complaining about the Wednesday Saturday turnaround and how he would go about it. But the injuries around Haaland does suggest that I think Haaland will play 90 minutes. And if this was, say, a Nottingham Forest at home or a Bournemouth at home, there could be a worry that Haaland might come up in the 60th minute if the score is 2-0, 3-0. But I think Man City, Newcastle will be quite tight. And
Yeah.
at home, last season, Haaland's stats were just out of the world. So that is one thing that has just constantly been telling me that just put it on Haaland. No need to go differential this week. I mean, I think Haaland. This is probably also because this week is the week in the first 8 weeks where Haaland is less of an option for captaincy. This is also the week where you could probably gain the most rank from Haaland. Otherwise, he's just the boring captain who's just gonna be uh, hardly gonna give you any rank gain. So that was another thing I was thinking about when it came to Haaland. Currently, I think it's still with Haaland, but I really like Rashford as a captain. And I think I'm 70-30 for Haaland right now, and the 30% is
So,
majorly Rashford. I'm not considering anyone else.
so I think let's just divide this conversation quickly into two parts. One, if you have Salah, I think Salah is your primary captain this game week. I don't think you should go anywhere else than Salah.
Yeah,
Let's say you don't
absolutely.
have
I
Salah,
also
but you have maybe a Trent, Jota, and a Diaz. Personally, between the three, I would captain Trent. I wouldn't captain Jota or Diaz. If you have those guys, if you're planning to get in those guys, I wouldn't captain it. And my reasons are very simple. I feel that uh, I don't know who'll start on the left wing. So I expect Darwin to start up top. But on the left, I don't know if it will be Jota or Diaz. Could be either or, could be 60 minutes for both. Or 60-30, 45-50, I don't know. Hence, I'm not confident. Trent, I know, will start this one. It looks like a clean sheet fixture on paper. It is possible they can keep a clean sheet. They have high odds. And Trent does usually do well versus Bournemouth. So I wouldn't fancy anyone else apart from these players.
I'm not too confident about a clean sheet because I think
Yeah,
Bournemouth are a great counter-attacking team and Liverpool will play a very, very high line, especially being Anfield. And I'm not sure if I think the new signing Endo has probably been registered by the deadline, but I don't think he'll be playing tomorrow. So if he's not playing tomorrow, it's again going to be McAllister at the base of the midfield, and that means it's going to be a very attacking midfield. And Bournemouth look, I mean, last week also they looked like quite attacking, and Bournemouth looked like a team who will probably get a few chances. And I think, I mean, you can give the odds that Liverpool might keep a clean sheet, but I'm not very confident about it because it's just going to be a very open game,
yeah,
I
it
think.
could be an
On
open
the
game, and
other
I'm not.
hand,
Yeah, I don't disagree,
on
but
the
he
other
looks like a
hand,
decent
because it's an
option.
open game, I'm really like I have a very big FOMO of not having Salah in my team. I think
Yeah,
he's hands down the best captain this week because again because of the fact that it's going to be open and forget about all this game week to nonsense that he's probably not going to score in game week 2. But I think this is a
He
fixture
shouldn't. I
where
agree.
he's going to break the jinx, and like he also broke the jinx in game week 1 where he had that streak of scoring six consecutive years in game week 1 and then not scoring in game week 2. I think this probably could be the other way around. I think, yeah, if you have Salah, Salah is probably my captain. If not, I think there are a few options. And again, as
Which is
I
again,
have been telling,
let's say there's Ritik in the chat as well. If not Salah or Trent, let's say most people are going Haaland, which it seems like the safe option. So I wouldn't really advise against that. But if someone wants to
hmm,
go away, I think it's either Watkins or Rashford.
probably, I think. I'm not
And
sure.
between,
I just think Watkins is not a very confident option when it comes to a very low block. Last season also is not his stats and compared
but
to
but
teams which
exactly,
have.
this is why I want to put this out before like you complete. Everton did not play a low block. I don't think Everton will play a low block. It was very clear and evident how Dyche played. They were playing five men up like while attacking at Fulham. It could be just because it's Fulham and they're like weak or they treat them as a weak team. But if you're committing five men, like having a three at the back, two five situation in attack, you are confidently attacking and trying to attack. At least that's the intent of the game plan. And I think they leave spaces behind the average position. If you check it up, it was too high for defenders as well. I think
Hmm.
this game will suit Villa. If Everton keep some sort of position, I think Villa will really be damaging them.
But I'm not sure what it means away from home. I think there could very much be a possibility where Chondite will be happy with a point away at Villa. I'm sure that Everton will be very much happy with a point. So in that sense, I think we might see a low block. That's why I personally would not go Watkins. But I think you are gracing a good point as well.
Yeah, because I really he is not the Burnley Sean Dyche we know, and he doesn't look like a manager who wants to settle for a point anymore. And
Hmm.
that's what's making a difference in my thought process and captaincy selection. Rashford,
Hmm.
honestly, if he's on the wing, maybe he does better. From the center, I don't know how much his teammates support him. The ball progression by Mount was too bad. Bruno was sort of like drifting everywhere, so
Hmm.
that needs to like get into place. Then I think it could be a good option. But again, I would still trust Watkins over Rashford without penalties.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think of Ben Chilwell as a captain? Outside shot.
No.
Because
So
I've also been looking at Ben Chilwell, and I just saw last week he was just like playing almost as a left winger. I'm not sure how that's gonna turn out this week. Are Chelsea gonna continue playing three at the back with Gusto as a right wing back rather than a right back? And if that's the case, again Chilwell will probably be playing left wing. His set pieces was one thing that took me off because he wasn't taking set pieces last week. But
yeah.
I think West Ham are not set yet as a defensive unit, and I just have a hunch that Ben Chilwell could be an outside captaincy shout this week. But I think it's too much of a risk to take. So I just wanted to put it out, but I don't think I'll be going that way.
So
I'm not. I wouldn't advise you, but it's just a bold move that you can
no, I
um,
mean, I would
put
like
there.
advocate against it totally as a Chelsea fan, and I know James Ward-Prowse will be starting this one for West Ham. I can just somehow manage to see free kick coming against us. He just does that. He loves to do that against Chelsea. And West Ham aren't a team who will not try to score. He, Chilwell's position could be very dynamic in he could be very attacking in terms of like overall. But again, captaincy you still will have to bank on a clean sheet first, then probably some attacking return to have a haul. The baseline for his clean sheet is not that high in my opinion for this game. That's the reason I put off. And also with
Hmm.
in terms of Everton. Everton were the third team in terms of away big chances conceded and away big chances shots inside the box. So away from home as well, they were not really last season. They were not very low block or like let's defend sort of a team. Again, that is what makes me think that maybe there is a chance and there is a scope to like get something out. Okay, so
Okay.
Nottingham, Sheffield. In fact, we just go with the popular ones first. Let's go Crystal Arsenal. I think a lot of questions with regarding Gabriel. Uh, I think personally, I think despite all that I've been putting out on Instagram and everything, I think he starts this one solely because they have lack of options. Zinchenko is fit, he's trained, but he's just played a Luton game yesterday. I don't think he'll be risked on Monday
Hmm.
night. I think Gabriel starts this one, but is he a good long term option? I don't think so. I think Chilwell is way too better than Gabriel at this point.
Yeah. Last weekend, my late move from Gabriel to Saliba didn't go through. So I am stuck with Gabriel for now, and I'm going to keep him in my team and not going to change Gabriel to anyone yet, because one reason is there is again a good chance that Gabriel starts this week with Timber being out injured. We can come back to that discussion whether Gabriel will start or not. But the other reason is also that you'll get much more information on players,
Yeah.
defenders around the league. I think 1 week's information is surely not enough. And with another weeks of information, I think I'll be more clear on which defender to jump on. I think there are quite a few defenders in my watch list, which includes Gusto from Chelsea. I think Trippier is there as well. Shaw is surely an option as well. So I think there are a few options who I would like to look at a little more before jumping from Gabriel. And I'm not very confident holding him long term, but I think for this week, Gabriel does look like a decent option. But
Yeah,
coming back to the whether Gabriel will start or not, there were a few things I read on Twitter that which said when Partey inverts from the right side, that means White, Saliba, and either Kivior or Tomiyasu could also play, because Tomiyasu came on for Gabriel, and Arteta doesn't really fancy Gabriel playing the center back. But I'm not. I mean, one thing I don't completely understand over here is why not just the Partey can invert from the left hand side, and Gabriel can still play as the left center back, or say
so
who else?
exactly,
Who else?
it's
I think
the new
Before
formation is
Timber,
too dynamic to understand right now.
hmm,
I think Partey can play both right and left because he's anyways inverting. I think the second
yeah, he's
inverting
anyways
is
inverted.
yeah, and that is why I think that Gabriel is not very long term stable because there is too many players who can play that position
Yes.
and White and like Saliba are pretty much nailed if they continue starting at centre back. So I honestly feel like this game week could be a chance because of lack of players Gabriel starts. If you have the funds, I would still do Chilwell if you don't have Chilwell. In case you don't have Chilwell, don't have the funds, I would hold this week and then next week you can make a better move overall. Maybe Gusto comes into the picture. There's 4.5 guys. Udogi will come into the picture next game week as well. Game week 3 is
Hmm.
when their fixture system. So
Yeah, I think
let's
Udogi's fixture also turns. I think that Spurs
yeah.
have quite a few good fixtures after game week 3. So yeah, I think there are quite a few options that come up next week. So I think I'm just content starting Gabriel this weekend.
Yeah. Okay, I have like two quick questions. A lot of people have, I think, have this as well. Uh, Rapid fire sort of questions. I would you start Martinelli over Pedro slash Watkins this game?
I mean, I would always start Martinelli over uh, any other. I mean, if there is a serious conversation against a player who plays for United or City or Chelsea, I probably would not would consider, but otherwise, I would hands down start Martinelli, because
Martinelli or
just because
Madison,
of
if
the
you have
high.
to start one. A lot of people have that
Martinelli
question.
or Madison, no, that's quite a
Yeah,
difficult
that's a
question.
close one. I think a couple of people had that.
Yeah, I'd still probably lean towards Martinelli because I just think the ceiling of Martinelli is very high. But given that Madison also probably has a very high ceiling as well, and Madison is on set pieces, Madison probably might he's gonna play 90 minutes as well, and he's mostly the focal point also for Spurs. So Madison surely not a bad shout over there, but I just feel Martinelli is just a has a very high ceiling that I would not like benching Martinelli in whatsoever. If I had Martinelli and Madison, I would probably look into another player who I could possibly bench, and I would not. I would probably start both of them.
Okay. With that, we can move to the next. I don't think we need to like put much like discuss much about this picture anymore. I think that's about it. I don't think we need to. There's nothing more to touch upon about this. I don't think captaincy is
Yes.
an argument over here.
I would avoid Arsenal captaincy this week because I don't think Saka's a captaincy shout. I
Yeah.
think Crystal Palace are quite a good defensive team, and you don't know where the goals will come from. I probably think Arsenal wins this one, probably by 2-1 or 2-0. But I don't know if there's a whole potential over here for Saka, and which is why I wouldn't captain anyone from an Arsenal team for this week. Next week I think they become options, but this week no.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out the Vinicius news. I don't think Vinicius starts. Anurag, I think someone, Omkar was asking in the chat. Okay, we'll quickly
Even
skim through. Jimenez will start, yeah, exactly. Skim through West Ham Chelsea. I think we discussed. Chelsea, just one more topic. Let's just touch upon James replacement. If you have James, for me, if you don't have Chilwell, make a swap. I think it's totally worth it. If you don't have Chilwell, I don't think I will jump on Gusto. If you have a bench, I'll bench James. Also, for people who want to bench James or Gabriel, Baldock will not be playing. He's injured. I have confirmed news about it. I received it from a friend of mine in the community. He's definitely not starting this one. So, if that's the case, if you have James and Baldock injured as well, I might plunge on maybe Udogi. Then, in that sense, maybe a cheaper that maybe an Udogi is better than Gusto because Gusto
yeah.
he could play. Chelsea could revert back to a back three. I don't know for sure, and that could happen. So I would not take the risk right now.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think if there are two 4 million defenders in your bench, which is one would probably be Baldock, and the other would be a Luton or
Saburo.
Burnley defender
Yeah.
who have a blank. And if you have James, then I'd probably move James away from. I think Udogi is a good option. I think Shaw is a good option too. I mean, uh, for this week he has Spurs, but long term I think he's a decent replacement for James. And yeah, there are quite a few options. I think you can go for an Aston Villa defender as well. But if James is your fourth
Top
defender,
three,
so
let's say. Yeah, top three. Let's say
suppose you
top
have
three
three other
replacements.
defenders. If you have three other defenders and James is your fourth defender, then I'd say bench James and wait for another week for more information on
Yeah,
who's a better defender. Because I don't think right now you have enough information for a good defender. So I'd say top three from my point of view. I mean, if you don't have Chilwell obviously is the first from wherever. And second, I'd probably say Shaw. And third, I'd say either Ake or Akanji.
yeah. Akanji. And even Guardiola. Sorry, I forgot Guardiola. I think Guardiola is a decent. I think he'll start most games. And I wanted to discuss
Yes,
that in the
but
Man City preview as well. But yeah, I think he'll start.
uh, yeah, there's a high possibility, but long term, I'm not sure. So I
But
feel like uh,
with most people
Guardiola.
injured in the team, yeah, I think he'll start.
Hmm. Yeah, he probably starts against Newcastle. I think against Newcastle, the back three will probably be Akanji, Ake, and Walker, and I think Guardiola will invert.
Yes. For people asking swap Chilwell for James, I would sell James hands down for Chilwell. To sum it up, if you want to go into a 4.5 category, I think Udogi is a common one. At 5 million, there's sort of a option. Akanji, Guardiola are the options, I think. And at 4.5, there's a Villa defender as well. But I don't think Villa look like the strongest defensive team. Of what I've seen in the
Hmm.
Newcastle game, they're pretty open. They are primarily want team who wants to attack. So I think I would not really jump there. Udogi has goal threat to him. That is why I'm interested there. And at 5.5 is Shaw, I think. 5.5, if you want to take the jump. But again, yeah, 5.5 you can go Shaw. I wouldn't go Trippier or someone else. I think Shaw is
I
the
like
high
Shaw.
sell
I
there.
think he's the best option out of like the 5.5 defenders who's there, not Chilwell. So
I
Chilwell is
mean,
obviously not 5.6.
I'm a bit
But
biased.
I'm not, I wouldn't be very confident because I want another week of information probably for a Brentford defender, Aston Villa defender to emerge. And
Yeah,
if someone emerges from there, then I would probably jump on them and use that 1 million elsewhere.
yeah.
So that's what I do. And if you are forced to jump on a defender this week, if not Chilwell, I'd probably jump to Shaw.
I'd go Udogi. I think because it's
Yeah.
a cheaper alternative, not Gusto. Definitely not Gusto for top for me because I'm not confident if he'll start.
Yeah, Udogi is a
Jackson,
decent shout as well.
yeah, Jackson. A lot of people talking Jackson. Chelsea are looking into another striker to buy potentially another striker. Pochettino mentioned that he's a big fan of Bruja as well. Bruja could start some games. So for now, I think keep your hands off Jackson. Nkunku is out, James is out. So the creativity last game was coming out from James as well. A lot of it. Without James, it will dampen our attack. I don't think Jackson is the best option to go for as of now.
Yeah,
That's
but I think
summing it
Jackson
up.
should have scored at least a couple of goals against
That's
Liverpool.
because,
He looked so
but
attacked.
that's
He
because
looked
we
so good.
had James. We had James.
Yeah, I
Without
think
James, I don't think it
couple
would
of them
happen.
came from James's side. Couple of those big chances did came from James' side. But I don't know. I just feel Jackson is someone who could make Chelsea's attack click. That's what I could see from that one particular game. Looking at Jackson. So, but again, I would say wait and watch for
Wait and
another
watch.
week,
I think it's a wait
maybe.
and watch because
And
creativity is
then
an
if you
issue.
think he becomes a decent option, then you can jump on him. Then you have Luton at home and Forest at home and all those
Yeah.
good fixtures. So then you can jump onto him. But I'm still waiting and watching because yeah,
Man City,
Jackson.
Newcastle, we've discussed. I think everyone starts. If you have Man City players, you start them.
I
Uh,
think Man City, Newcastle, one of the players I'd like to discuss for now with De Bruyne injured is Julian Alvarez
but I
because
think nobody's short-term punting on him this game week, right? So I don't know if you want to touch upon him this game week or the next one.
I'm not sure only about short term. I think for the medium term also he becomes a good option because he's been the one in the last few months when KDB hasn't started. He's been the one who starts. Maybe we can dig out and figure out
I
when KDB starts or when
yeah.
Alvarez starts. Have they like when both of them don't start? Has there been occasions? What have been those occasions?
So
Maybe we can pull that out. But probably for this week, I don't think he's an option. But maybe for the medium term at 6.5, he's surely in my watch list. I think if I want to move away from Joao Pedro and have 1 million in the bank, I would really like to move to Alvarez because
yeah.
I think he's probably the best attacking second City attacker. If
I
I
I agree, but this game I want to watch because there could be two scenarios. If he's playing as the number 10, just behind Haaland, I think he's the best option, hands down.
hmm,
If he's not playing there, if he's playing a number 8 half space
fine.
player, then I'm not really very much interested to jump over on him because then he has a very different role to play than in that team.
Hmm,
Uh,
yeah.
but this game week I would just wait and watch, avoid overall. Spurs United we've touched upon. I think we'll discuss that last. Nottingham Sheffield. Everyone's starting Turner. I think I'm starting Turner over Pickford, over Johnston as well.
Yeah.
So if you have
Same.
Turner, you start him. I think
I'm
over.
starting at Turner over Onana, Johnston, Pickford. All three I would
I'm
start.
yeah. I think you over Onana as well. I think Spurs should score. So I think I'm
Maybe
starting.
Fleckin. I think I'd start Fleckin. I'm not sure. Brentford away at Fulham. I think probably because I'm not. I don't think
But
Fulham's
Fulham look
attack.
like a team who will want to score. They at least
But
tried to score.
without Pereira with Mitrovic going, I
Mm.
would like to. I mean, I'd like to be able to punt over there. I think Brentford have a decent chance of keeping a
Yeah.
clean sheet because I'm not
You
sure
can
Fulham are
maybe yeah.
as attacking as they were last year. And maybe look for a few weeks and see that. If you have a Brighton goalkeeper, maybe I think start them. I think Steele, if you have, you start him. Um,
I think no
who
other
else?
keeper makes it to the cut for me.
Yeah,
Maybe Ramsdale if you have Ramsdale.
if you have
Edison
Ramsdale or
Rice.
Allison, probably you just start
Yeah,
them
yeah.
as well. So, other
But
than
like the
that, I think
majority
or
keepers, you
Martinez.
start Turner. I think Turner is
Martinez,
up there.
Ramsdale, or Allison, you have them, you start them. But uh, else, if it's these popular template options like Johnston, Pickford, Onana, I think you just start
Yeah.
Turner and yeah,
That's the only question we have regarding that. Fulham Brentford, we've discussed most of it. If you have Visa, Buemo, play them. I would hold on to them.
100% play them. I think
Defenders
Brentford have
as
a
well, I
good
would give a shout. Uh,
yes.
yep. Liverpool Bournemouth we've discussed.
Brighton.
Brighton Wolves. This is an interesting one
Hmm,
because De Zerbi has come out and said that he's going to change things up and he's interested in shuffling around with the team formation. I have Pedro and I'm benching Pedro this game because I am playing Martinelli over Pedro.
I have Pedro. I'm starting Pedro because purely because I don't have anyone to
Yeah,
anyone from the bench to come out. But I feel confident he'll start Pedro this game.
he
I mean,
should, but it depends on if he starts as a forward, I'll be sad. But Wolves don't look like a team who will concede a lot of chances. Although Brighton look like a team to me who will concede a lot of chances in this game. Matthews
I
Kuna is something
probably
I'm
agree with
watching.
that. I think it's gonna be a decent game. I think Wolves do have a good chance of getting something out of the game as well. But I'd be happy starting Joao Pedro. I think he looked really good first week. He had like a lot of good shots, good chances. He probably should have scored a couple of more goals as well. And he's look even as a number 10, he's looking like he wants to take shots. He's in the box and he's more central. So I prefer him as a number 10 rather than if he was if he was to play from either of the wings, which he's not going to do because there's Mitoma and March. Uh, I think João Pedro continues to play this game, and I think eventually when Europa League kicks is when De Zerbi will be making his rotation. I think it's just a way of handling things. De Zerbi is pretty open to. I think he's been doing this ever since he joined Brighton. Also open
Yeah,
to mixing things around. Maybe Welbeck is dropped for Ferguson or Enciso, but I'm not
let's
sure if
see. Yeah, that's
I'm happy to start João Pedro. I have a good. I am confident that he probably starts this week.
okay. We have a lot of questions regarding Pedro, so we'll just quickly take up those questions. Those are rapid fire questions, this or that, wala. So maybe you answer. I give my opinion. You can give your opinion quickly.
Hmm.
Pedro versus Watkins, the Rashford. Start two. Who to bench? Bench one.
Pedro versus
Pedro, Watkins versus Rashford.
Watkins and Rashford.
Bench Pedro. I agree. Same.
Yeah, bench Pedro
Uh,
there.
Next is transfer out Foden for any pool cover or hold. I would hold.
I, I would not transfer to a Liverpool. So Liverpool midfielders, not Salah. Let us take that up. If
Yeah.
you have a midfielder in Jota or Diaz, hold. If you don't have anyone, please don't go and transfer. Hold your transfer still there.
Yeah.
So
And
if you
don't
have a
captain them
Liverpool
either.
player, hold. Yeah, don't hold, don't sell. Sorry, don't buy, don't sell player. I don't think I'd captain. I have Jota in my team. I'm not going to captain him. I think I still feel like he's going to start this game, but I'm not fully convinced. I think if he starts, he'll probably come out in the 55th or 60th minute also. So I'm not going to captain Jota this week.
Yeah.
If for Liverpool, I think only Salah is a captaincy shout, maybe Trent, but nobody else.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
would Liverpool midfield is a no, don't
We
buy,
we
don't sell.
touched we touched upon this fairly a lot in the start of the
Yeah,
stream. I think for people who
yeah.
want to. Alvarez versus Bruno versus Pedro. Who two out of the three? Uh,
Bruno for sure, I'm gonna start him. Alvarez, Pedro, I probably lean towards Alvarez.
I would lean towards Pedro. There because two reasons. Pedro has penalties under him, and Alvarez I'm not sure. And Newcastle, I rate Newcastle more than Wolves. So in that case, I would lean towards Bruno and Pedro. Because it's also
It
because of the
seems a
penalties.
bit contradictory that I've been talking so much about Pedro, but I just feel like
It's
Alvarez
the
is
city bias
probably.
for you, I think. It's just maybe having a city player at 6 million just there. I would go
Yeah,
because
and
Pedro has penalties. That really swings over things over Alvarez.
also the thing is Alvarez didn't played only like 5 to 10 minutes in the weekend.
He's
Maybe
got an
that's
injury as
also
well. By
because
the
of a
way, he's
knock.
got an injury
That's
as well. Yeah.
that's because of a knock. But if he's fit enough, I think, yeah, maybe because of the knock, I'd bench Alvarez. But I'd also see that as a little bit of a rest because he came in for the last 10 minutes, and if he does get to start, I don't think he's gonna miss this game. I think he's gonna play this game.
Yeah.
He does have a knock, which is a little worrying, but yeah, I'd still be leaning towards Alvarez. I feel, but
Okay.
yeah, I think you can't
Before we
get.
jump into our like Q&A, last a lot of people need to touch like want us to touch upon Spurs United. Madison, question number one. I think hands down, great option. Do we jump on him this week? I don't think so. I think hold. If you have him, great. Don't sell him. If you don't have him, I think hold for another week. I wouldn't jump on him this game week. The second,
75%, I think I'm leaning towards doing Jota to Madison after this
yeah,
game.
next game week. Yeah.
I think that's where there are a lot of points to be taken. I had a good feeling to start with Madison this season and didn't go out really well going Jota at the beginning. But I think mostly my transfer is going to be Jota to Madison game week 3 because there are fixtures where Madison is probably going to be Spurs' main attacker who's going to
Yeah.
get a lot of goals and assists. And I'd
Then
say yeah.
the next year, I mean, there's just continuing to United as well. A lot of people frustrated by Bruno and want to sell Bruno for three multiple options. You can go Foden, you can go Madison this game week, you could go anybody like Liverpool guy. Personally,
No.
I would hold because the entire setup and the match really suits Bruno this time. The tactics which Spurs are playing, which will leave ample of space behind to counter attack, I think Bruno and United will do well in this one. So I would hold all of my United players this game week.
I think you just need a little bit of patience with the United guys because um, they have Nottingham Forest next week at home as well. I think these two fixtures you can't sell Bruno or Rashford before these two fixtures because I really feel Spurs is just going to be a very open game. It's going to play into the hands of Rashford and Bruno, and
Yeah.
yeah, very very good chance they come out with a couple of returns this game, and Nottingham Forest at home after that, and that you just can't remove someone from United in that game. So for these two fixtures, it's just like forget about uh, removing any of Bruno or Rashford.
Yep. So, and with that, we are almost done. So we'll just touch upon our team quickly, and then we'll do the remaining 20 minutes of a Q&A. Okay. Uh, First, I'll talk about my team. Here's how my team is looking like. This is my team. I have Turner in goal, Estupinian, Chilwell, and Saliba in defense. I have Martinelli, Bruno, Rashford, and Buemo Saka. Watkins and Haaland up top. I have Watkins captain as of now. As I discussed, I wanted to go differential. If I'm planning to, I will still can switch it back to Haaland. I will update you guys on Instagram for that. But as of now, given all reasons and research, I think I will go Watkins. M- My other option to go captain is Rashford, and I am genuinely considering Rashford as a captaincy option. But yeah, this is what it is. I am confused if I should play Pedro or Martinelli. That's sort of a 50-50 I'll take later on in the game.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
with respect to your team, here's how your
I
team
have
looks like.
Turner at goal again. Chilwell, Estupinian, and Gabriel at the back. Rashford, Saka, Bruno, Martinelli, and Jota. Haaland up top with Joao Pedro. So I don't have any too many options to bench. I'm hoping that Joao Pedro, Jota, and Gabriel, who look like possible minutes risk, do get the starts and go ahead. And then I have two transfers to uh, play with next week. And one more thing, I wouldn't worry about. I think it's better to know that information and go with the transfer rather than worrying about the minutes risk Gabriel has and removing him this week. That's another reason why I'm not removing Gabriel. So this is probably gonna be my team, and I'm if there could be a possibility that I might switch captaincy to Rashford, but for now I think it's on Haaland, and
I have,
I'm huh
please say that I've talked you into not captaining Haaland
I'm going to captain Haaland for now. There's a
for
possibility
now,
to
but
change
yeah.
that. There's a possibility which I've always been open about, but I think the reasons for not captaining Haaland are not too much, so I would probably just stick with Haaland.
Okay, fair enough. No, a lot of people asking is Foden injured? No, Foden and Alvarez injured? No, both are going to start. I think. Alvarez had a knock earlier, like during the Sevilla game. I think that's the only question. Okay, we quickly come back to our Q&A and let's answer questions and give our opinions quickly and then let's go ahead. We have Foden to Buemo or rule the transfer. I would rule the transfer. I think Foden is
Roll the
essential.
transfer.
Yeah, I think I would roll the transfer. Ashwin has handled his team. He has Alisson, White, Saliba, Trippier, Estupinian. A back four. Bruno, Mitoma, McAllister, Isaac, Haaland, and Jackson. Thoughts? I think mixed team. I would not keep McAllister in the team. I would switch him out if possible. And apart from that, maybe downgrade Trippier to a Chilwell. Those are the two things I think are
Yeah,
probably
there's a lot of money in the defense, which
yeah.
I don't really like. But yeah, I think you can. I'd also be in the same wavelength. I think probably downgrade Trippier to Chilwell this week, and maybe next week you can do a McAllister, maybe to a Madison if you have the money, or I mean, or probably either Embumo or Eze.
Yeah. Gabriel replacements, please. Van Bissaka, Udogi, Varane, Gusto, City defenders slash City defenders or Henry. I think we covered this.
I think we've discussed this. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go cheap, I think Udogi 4.5 is the best as of now. At 5.5 Shaw, and if you want to go to a City defender, I think Akanji or Guardiola are the options to go to.
But best thing to do for now is to
Chilwell.
hold Gabriel and
Yeah, hold or
look
go
at it.
Chilwell if you can go.
Yeah, if you don't have Chilwell. If you
Yeah.
don't have Chilwell, you have to go to Chilwell. If you do, if you have Chilwell, then I'd say hold Gabriel for this week, and then you'll get to know who's the better option next week, and then you can jump into them.
Yeah. We have a very interesting one from Aditya. Drop one out of Bruno, Rashford, Martinelli, Pedro, Watkins, and Mitoma.
Oh wow, where is that? One sec.
Is there in
Bruno,
chat? I think Pedro out. Bruno, Rashford, Martinelli, Pedro, Watkins, Mitoma. I think Pedro out for me.
Pedro probably.
Yeah.
I'd start the rest. I mean, how many people to drop out of this?
One.
One. Okay, yeah, then I probably drop Pedro. I
Pedro,
think
yeah.
I'd start the rest.
Shaw, Eze, and Gabriel bench one. I would bench Gabriel.
Yeah,
Or maybe
pretty
it's
much.
actually a tough one. Yeah, I would not take
SJ
a chance.
maybe.
But then again, I don't know if Gabriel doesn't start, he'll come out for a one pointer. I think the other two start at least.
Yeah, I think if you're confident Gabriel starts, go with Gabriel. If
Yeah.
not, you can go with
But it's
SJ.
like a Monday fixture. Yeah, nobody will ever know. So maybe take a chance on the
Yeah.
nailed on one. Foden to Madison, I would hold again. Hold this week. See how Foden is playing, what his role is, and then maybe take a call next game week. James to Guardiola this week, I would do it. I think it's a long-term good move, so I would make this lunch. Obviously, specifying that if you don't have children.
But I think we covered that as well. If you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
James as your third defender, then I'd probably move James to, if number one is Chilwell, number two is Shaw, number three is one of the City defenders. So I'd
yeah.
probably do James to Guardiola if you're confident with that. But if he is your fourth defender, I'd say wait and watch for the next week and jump in the defender who emerges out as a better option.
People asking Saliba to Konate and Konate starting. I think Konate starts, but do you want to buy him? No, absolutely not. I don't think so.
I think it's a very low upside move
No,
for
no.
at
I,
least
I
for
would
now.
just
And
say, yeah, don't do
yeah, I
it,
just
guys.
stick with Saliba as Fulham at home next week, and Liverpool are not very like they
They
are.
don't look
Liverpool
like
are
a
still
team which will keep clean sheets anytime soon again.
yeah they don't have the fixtures. Plus they don't look like a team which will keep clean sheets. Maybe eventually when the fixtures clear up, Konate could become an option at 5 million. I think he comes at a very good price bracket. But for now, I think this is not a move that you should be doing in game week 2.
Yep. I have an interesting question, which is there are two questions. One first is Foden, Pedro, or Jackson, who to bench, and
Hmm.
I would
That's a very
say
difficult.
I would let go of Jackson in that case. I think.
Probably I'd also bench Jackson, but I don't know. I think both all three come at a very similar place where
Yeah,
either of them could get wrong, either of them could get right as well. So I'd probably again lean towards Jackson, but
Jackson.
I
Yes.
don't know. I'm not
My
really sure about that.
So my only reason again, Pedro has penalties, so can't really drop him. He has the president. Put in place for a team called Manchester City. I am not. My only problem is
Hmm.
Jackson, and I love Jackson. Hands down, he was my gaming three target. My only problem right now is the fact that we will not have enough creativity from the right, and James was really important and for creativity. I don't think uh, Sterling, if he plays on the right, can provide the similar creativity. So
I
that's going to
think
be huge dent.
Sterling is effective at all in the right. I
Yeah,
think again Liverpool in the preseason he's been playing at the right. I think he was not good at all. Again Liverpool, I think he was a bit decent. He was at least creating, getting in the space. He's getting into good positions. So maybe as a second forward, I like him, but not as someone who's from the right. And it will be interesting to wait and watch what Chelsea will do. Will Gusto play as the wing back? Then Gusto becomes a very good option if he plays as a wing back.
yeah.
But I'd say wait and watch and see how Jackson goes about this week and where he gets the chances from.
Yeah, a lot of people still asking captaincy apart from Salah and Haaland. There's Rashford and Watkins, and there's a couple of Saka thrown into the mix as well. I think for me, again, between Rashford and Watkins, let's say if someone really has to go differential, I still
I'd
feel
say Rashford.
Watkins. I think I still feel Watkins. Rashford it really
But
depends on
I'd say
game state.
Rashford.
Uh, I'm not convinced with Rashford. That's the problem. Because
Hmm.
what I've seen with United in game week one doesn't really put. At least Villa looked good in preseason, looked good game week one. Like they were trying to attack at least. United was really bad. So that really puts me off because there's no data that I can trust or no visuals I can trust as of now. Despite them being an overall
I
better
don't
team.
think we should just look at just this one week. I
But
think
again, if you can't perform against
Spurs
Wolves,
is a good
I'm
enough
not sure.
picture from Rashford's point of view to attack.
Yeah,
Last year, Rashford was good enough for you to trust Rashford, and I mean, from what you know, it's from what you know. It's from this first, not just this first game week, but also last season where you saw Rashford being a very good option under Ten Hag, and I think he also had a lot of touches in the box. I think he was top or second for that this game week, and if he does play from the center, also I think he does prove as a decent option because it's not a defense that is going to be very rock solid. It's going to be very open, and I expect a 2-2 or a 2-3 game. Chelsea, sorry, yeah, Spurs versus United. So for me, I think if I don't go Haaland or Salah, it's Rashford.
I'm most likely to go Watkins because I feel that's more like a game for it could work out for Villa. Also, another question. We have two questions. I think Gabriel most likely starts this one. I will take that up quickly. We've discussed it. And should I do Foden to Madison now or as soon as Game Week 3 starts in order to avoid the price rise? I think you can take the, if you're very sure, you can take the call of as soon as the deadline passes, you can get in Madison tonight, so you can avoid the price rise. But again, there's going to be a huge caveat. If he gets injured, you might get into trouble. But again, if you want to save money, yes, you can do that.
I think the prices come at a very good point this season that you might as well wait till next Friday, till next deadline to do your game week 3 transfers.
Well,
I mean,
if
unless it's something that prices you out of a move, I don't think you should do that. If you think you have point 0.5 or 1 million in the bank, don't do it. Just wait until next Friday to do it. If you're getting priced out, then maybe I'd consider going ahead and doing it, especially for players who have very good fixtures like Madison.
For people asking XG of Brentford had an open play XG of 1.3, and I'm pretty sure one of those was through Buemo's open chance which he missed. Like he had like a point 0.7 or point 0.8 XG shot which he missed. Yeah,
He had a very big
point
chance.
0.7. Yeah, big chance 0.5 XG. So not a lot of XG despite Brentford counter-attacking his first, leaving a lot of space. I think it was a decent game
Hmm.
overall.
Hmm.
Yep, and
But I think 1.3 is again a nice XG I'd like to take
yeah,
for an attacking team against Spurs. Without like, I feel like United will create a little more than that.
but like to give more context to that, Villa I think had a decent XG built up against. They had 1.7 XG as well, out of
And
which
scored only.
open play was 1.5. So decent XG against Newcastle despite not being able to score. No
Yeah.
penalties there. And how much did Fulham create? Let's just to put everything into place. Fulham created 1.5 XG. So despite not being so much and not on the score sheet, but I think it was just because of the big chance they scored. It was a high XG chance, if I
I
remember.
I'm
Yeah,
quite surprised to know that Fulham created 1.5 actually because
yeah. Out of which
I from
point
the eye
0.7 is the
test I
goal.
thought that game was full. Everton had plenty of chances but just couldn't score, and Fulham had like one good chance and they scored from that. I think the goal they scored also was a very high XG
High
goal.
XG goal, point 0.7 XG,
I
but
Yeah.
still they scored
So,
enough, like created enough XG from open play. And exactly
uh,
I'm saying the Everton team is not a defensive team anymore, which is why I feel that the Villa team has some potential to exploit this picture.
yeah, I think Villa is a very good team, and Watkins is a good outside option for captaincy. But yeah, I just feel Rashford for playing for a United team is a better option. But I
Yeah,
think Watkins is
yeah.
definitely a very good option.
If Rashford starts on the left, then Cap. If not, Watkins Cap. I think yeah, correct. But you will never know if where Rashford is starting, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I feel irrespectively, Rashford is not a bad shout. I'm just more biased towards not captaining him in a big game. That is why. Yeah, that's it. I think
Hmm.
Rashford is
Hmm.
equally good in my opinion.
Hmm.
Uh, we have most questions. Start Shaw or Gabriel Shaw. I think I wouldn't
Yeah.
start Gabriel again. Guaranteed mentions where I would go.
I would start Shaw because he has he's gonna be on set pieces and he has an attacking output as well. So I
Bench
start
one,
Shaw.
yeah. Bench one out of Bruno and Pedro. I think
Pedro.
Pedro. Yeah, both of us have consensus on that. Foden to Madison early or Foden to Buemo at deadline for game week 3. I think,
If you are priced out of Foden to Madison, I'd say Foden to Madison. Because Madison just very central, and he's like, I think Mbumo is also very central, but Madison's plays for a Spurs team for under a manager who's just going to be open attack, and Madison is probably going to be like just the basis of that. So if you're priced out of Madison, maybe I'd say Foden to Madison early. But if you're not making it, then don't worry. I think Foden to Mbumo is also a very good option as well, and holding Foden is also a decent option. So
yeah,
yeah,
I
I'd say
think
Madison.
Madison is the better one. I would say he's
Yeah,
more
Madison probably
potent.
the best one. And if you're priced out, then maybe you just go Madison just after the deadline. But Foden to Mbumo is probably second best.
Yeah. Turner versus Steele, Turner, and I wouldn't start Steele, I think. And Aditya Jairam has sent his Steele, Turner, Johnstone, Silver,
Steel has
Epple.
Wolves, right? You would still
But
wouldn't
again,
start him.
Wolves were way too attacking. 23 shots, 17 inside the box, XG of 2.5, and they looked like an attacking team. So, and again, that's what we discussed, right? Brighton don't look defensively solid without Caicedo and
Yeah.
McAllister. So I wouldn't really trust. And Steele isn't like a great shot stopper or like a distribution guy. So no, it doesn't seem like it doesn't give me any reason to start him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably Turner. Let's touch a little bit about
Yeah.
on Nottingham Forest Sheffield. I think Sheffield were comfortably a very the worst attacking team in game week one, and they don't have a striker yet. They are still linked with Archer from Aston Villa, but they are not playing with the out and out striker for now, and probably there's a very good chance that Nottingham Forest do keep a clean sheet. And Nottingham Forest in the game week one did look decent. They didn't they conceded an XG of less than one against Arsenal. I think 0.7 or and against an Arsenal team at the Emirates, that's quite impressive. Very small sample size, but that's quite impressive. And I'd back Nottingham Forest to keep a clean sheet against Sheffield today.
Sheffield, yeah, I think same. Again, will Stone start not this game week? Best City defender of 5 million, I think Guardiola or Akanji. I think I prefer Guardiola. Akhilesh prefers Akanji. And
Yeah.
Aditya has sent in his team. He's saying my plans for game week, recommendation for plans for game week 3 and 4. Consider that he'll be saving a transfer. I think his midfield is Bruno, Rashford, Saka, Salah, and Chukwuemeka, Haaland, Pedro, and defense. I think I'll take some money out of the defense. He has Chilwell, Estupinian, Akanji, Gabriel, and Baldock. So I think
Maybe
Gabriel.
maybe Gabriel to a 4.5 defender,
Yeah,
or maybe even Gusto. Then
exactly.
but only problem about that is he already has Chukwuemeka, and if you have Gusto, then if Jackson becomes an option,
The other split I'm seeing is Salah
Udogi is
down.
probably.
No, Salah down to Madison and Chukwuemeka
Yeah,
up
that's the
top.
obvious
Yeah.
one. Then
Yes.
I think then I don't I'd say not touch your defense and just do Salah to
Just
Madison,
Salah
and then
down to, yeah. Stefan.
you can do Chukwuemeka to maybe Embumo. So then and then use that money,
Yeah.
the remaining money elsewhere.
Okay. Last 5 minutes, guys. We'll have to wrap this up. We'll quickly take up as many questions as do rapid fire. So in this segment on that time, we just answer whatever gut feeling is, whatever we discuss. So we'll go through everything, skim through everything quickly. Turner versus Edison, who start? I think I'll start Edison. Just you, I would never bench a 5.5 winning keeper, guys. That's
Yeah, I
personally
would
how
never bench a player, keeper. I mean, Edison, first of all, is a very tricky player to have, but I would never bench a keeper who keeps for Manchester City.
Manchester City,
So,
yeah.
so just not gonna like I just not gonna fit right with me. So I'm probably gonna start Edison
Yeah.
in that case.
Eze to Mbuemo or save a transfer? I think I'll save a
Safe
transfer.
transfer.
Garnacho, Gabriel, Henry, Colville, bench one player. Out of
Hmm.
the lot, I would
Garnacho.
no. But if you're very high on Rashford, I think Garnacho does well as well. Out of the lot, I would bench Gabriel.
Do you think there's a chance that Rashford plays in the left and Sancho plays in the middle? And
There,
then
there could be.
if there is a chance for that, if there is a chance for that, then if
Then
you were
Garnacho
saying
sits out.
Gabriel is a minutes risk, then Garnacho is probably a minutes risk as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bench Henry or Colville, but between
Actually,
Gabriel and Garnacho,
maybe then Garnacho out. Yeah.
probably Garnacho. I don't know. I think if Garnacho does start, he's a good option.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd say having an attacker is always better than having a defender. So
Yeah.
maybe Gabriel, but it's between those two. The other two I'd probably start.
Yeah. Go for Diaby in place of Eze or hold Eze. I think I'll hold Eze for the next 2-3 fixtures. They have better fixtures than Diaby. And overall, Villa, I think.
I don't think Enzo is an option instead of Eze.
No. Enzo, I didn't even mention it in the question because it doesn't make sense. I
Yeah,
don't think he's an
I
option.
don't know why Enzo suddenly emerging as an option. He's on set
No.
pieces,
No,
okay,
just
but
avoid.
he's like that. He's like 2 years back, Jorginho, right? If
No,
he
no.
was on penalties,
Yeah,
so it's
he
just a
could be, but again, I don't think he's an option.
it's just a pick where you never know when to back him, and he might have a very good fixture and he might not do anything, and then he might have a very difficult fixture, and if he's on penalties, he might just get a penalty and score. So this is just like the Jorginho from 2 years back who ended up with a few FPL points, but as a manager, you can never predict when exactly is a good fixture for him to score. So I'd say stay away with Enzo and just go with the options who you think are like
Yeah.
attackers for teams who you can count on.
Yeah, correct. I think agree. Haaland versus Watkins, captain. If you're confused, go Haaland. I don't think you should go Watkins if you're confused. Why Buemo or Pedro? I don't understand that. Because Fulham are one of the weakest defense in the league. You would want to play a player against playing that defense. Wolves,
Yeah,
on the other hand,
you need
yeah,
Fulham is a defense to target.
yeah,
Whichever week you go, Fulham is a defense to target, and more often than not, you have to play an attacker against Fulham.
And Wolves look decent. They look organized, and so in all perspective, put Mbomo over Pedro. Both have penalties, so there's nothing in defense there. Where's the priority list like last season? I'll do it. Or Akhilesh, when we stream, we'll do that. We haven't put. We should have done that this stream as well. It's out of my mind. Uh,
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it next week.
yeah, yeah.
But for now, just on top of our mind, you want to give a
No,
priority
no.
list?
It's a long list. We usually put all players on the list in terms of priority. But anyways,
Okay.
why isn't
Yeah,
Walker,
we can do
Ake?
it.
Yeah, why isn't Walker, Ake, Lewis an option considering Diaz and Stones are injured? Stones is not long term, I think. And Walker, Ake, Lewis are again such players which could be rotated and benched anytime. The other players, Guardiola and Akanji, are more stable and will likely play more minutes. Hence, those are better options.
Hmm.
Luis Diaz, captain, no shot. I don't think so. Again, I don't know if he start left wing. If he starts, good as a player, but I wouldn't captain him again. Only Salah and Trent are captain options for me from Liverpool at the point. Couple of more questions and we'll wrap this up. Start Solanke or Edward? I would start Solanke. I take a chance versus Liverpool, I think. Not versus
Hmm?
Arsenal. Solanke versus
Solanke
Edward.
Edward is Edward as Arsenal, Solanke as Liverpool. So
Yeah, I'd start
I don't know.
Solanke. Bournemouth look
Probably,
like
yeah.
an attacking team, yeah, and
Yeah.
Solanke had like about 1 XG as a last game.
And Solanke is probably he's on penalties and he's a better player for his team than Edward is
Yeah.
for his team.
Start Pedro maybe in front of Bruno. I wouldn't. This game is tailor made for Bruno. If there is any sort of return that's coming, this is the one.
Yeah, and it doesn't sit right with me benching Bruno and having him in my team and benching him. Just
Yeah.
not something I would recommend or do.
Last couple of questions. Get in Madison game week 2 or 3? I think 3. I think Akhilesh 3, right?
Yeah, three.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I
again, with what you say, you want him for game week three, then just might as well get him for game week three.
yeah.
Unless you have an injured midfielder, but which I don't have too many. I think that the template midfielders and like there's just a long list of midfielders who you have who are good enough to keep for this week. So you just don't need to jump into Madison for now.
Captain Watkins or Saka, between the two, I would captain Watkins. Uh,
Yeah, even I think I would start. I would captain Watkins between the two.
James to Malo Gusto, I wouldn't do it this week. James to, we've discussed James extensively in the video before. You can go back, but not Malo Gusto. Avoid him for now. Ben Salah is, you can try doing that. And and Chilwell for Shaw. Chilwell for Shaw is benching. Yes, I would bench Shaw over Shaw first and play Chilwell. For a transfer, I would not do it this week. I would hold Shaw. I would make way for Chilwell somewhere else.
Yeah, I think you have if you have Gabriel or James, I
There could
think
be
you
even
or
Estopinian
Stones. I
that
think
could go
Chilwell
out.
is
Yeah,
the one to go, but not sure.
there's a lot of players that can move around, but maybe Shaw can be held. Yeah, we just lost you for a second there. Okay, I just maybe there's some issue with his audio. Let him come back and then we figure it out. Yep, I can hear you. I'll just continue with
So
the Q&A.
okay,
Yeah.
I what I was saying was if you have Shaw, if you have Stones, James, or Gabriel, then please you can go for Chilwell, but not if you have Shaw.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Last question, guys, and we'll wrap up. Start Richarlison or Jackson. If you have both, I would start Richarlison. Take a chance on him. And maybe I'll just
Richarlison.
take one. If you have to start one Liverpool player, who would it be other than Trent or Salah? Uh, this game is Diaz. I'll take my chances on Diaz. Although I'm not
Start.
sure if he
I
starts.
think. I mean, I don't know. If I have that question, whichever Liverpool player you have to start him because
No,
this is a
it's
game if
just,
you
I
brought
think
that
it's just a
Liverpool
very
player for.
random. Yeah, it's just a
And
random.
if you want to transfer in a Liverpool player, I think we said a little while back that Liverpool attackers other than Salah are no buy no sell. So if you have him, please start him. If you don't buy him.
And okay, last question. Narendra has been asking since a while. Sanchez or Turner? I would start Turner because Sheffield are too bad. West Ham's look decent attacking wise. Again, I said James Ward-Prowse would score a free kick or set piece against us. But what do you think?
I'd probably start Sanchez.
Okay, I would start Turner and I would still.
Yeah. But I mean, I would just back Chelsea's defense to probably keep a clean sheet. But I don't hate uh, starting Turner as well. And as we mentioned, as
Actually,
we also
we know that no, yeah, I'm still maybe the LFC midfield starts. I know for sure Caicedo and Enzo are starting, but not Lavia. So maybe if
Lavia
it
won't
happens,
start.
yeah.
You
But
had to say LFC midfield.
yeah,
Okay,
just for
I
context,
think
just for
consider
context,
Lavia.
Kinish is a Liverpool fan. I think yeah.
You can do LFC is still Lavia. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's gonna be CFC only. I think Shoko Meta
It,
will look for the
it's gonna be the LSC midfield eventually, if not this game week, but we'll figure it out. Actually, you can probably go ahead with Sanchez, take a chance. I don't think I still be wary of the James Ward cross free kick, but overall it should be fine. I don't think there's gonna be huge difference between the two. Ben Chilwell, no.
He has enough
Ben,
time to score.
yeah.
I
Diaz
I
over
wouldn't.
Jota, just
Diaz
leave it.
over Jota.
No, I
If
think
you
I'd
have
go
both of
Diaz.
them, I'd start both of them, but I wouldn't transfer any one
Yeah.
for the other. So
We've discussed most of it. Last question I'm taking up, and I'm getting too late for this. Should I take a -4 to replace James? Baldock and Mumbama on my bench right now. If he's your third defender again, we discussed extensively. Yes, take a -4, replace him.
yeah,
On that note, we'll wrap it up. Yajat, I'll take up your question and not give it up to anybody. We bench one of the following: Havertz, Bruno, João Pedro, Jackson, Rashford, and Buemo. Uh, Out of the lot, I would
Havertz.
bench Havertz or maybe Jackson. Most likely Havertz. And no, I start
No,
Jackson.
I'd
I'll
say
take a chance.
Havertz.
Yeah, Havertz. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. On that note, we'll wrap it up. As of now, the captaincy is on Watkins. I will most likely not shift it to Rashford. So Watkins or Haaland. I think Watkins is the one guy for this game week. I will go differential. But
Mine is on Haaland, and
yeah,
I think I'll probably keep it on Haaland. Rashford is a possible choice, but I think it's probably gonna stay on Haaland for the
and
next
we
six
will
games.
let you know on the update for the LFC defense that happens, uh,
Yeah.
and from an LFC fan in the next game. See you guys till then, and have a good game week, guys. Yeah, this is Expert